Last go round, eh?
Last go round. Who'd have thought it?
Yeah.
Can I ask the first question?
Yeah. Sounds fair. Send it to Brad though.
So, real tough one. That must have been excruciating to watch at times. Brilliant, but excruciating.
Yeah, it was. It was exactly what you just said. It's been about 3 of those in a row now. So there's that good side of it, the positive side where the guys are getting the job done, they're showing composure at the back end, but there's the frustrating side of probably discipline around just ball control, errors, simple errors, some needless penalties. We get our discipline right, there's real potential to have some really good rugby, in my opinion. So that's been a challenge for us these last 3 weeks.
I mean, it must be frustrating when you're scoring 4 tries to 1, getting a bonus point, and only winning by 7.
Yeah.
And conceivably could have lost, or at least won the match.
Easily, yeah. So, it's hard sitting behind that glass. A lot easier as a player. But the lesser of those type of games, the better. But like I said, proud of the guys. I felt, if I was to talk about the game, a lot of respect to the force, and they came here with an experienced group of guys, and impressive scrum. I had some good scrummaging there. Set piece was strong. They were playing their game, and they were getting amongst it, and there's real good pressure there. It was back and forth. We bombed a few things, but I thought in the second half, I'll take my hat off to the guys, the finishers that came on. I thought they brought something, added something, with BPA was the first guy at half time, just a scrum time, and then this guy's making a habit of kicking crucial kicks, to continue that pressure, because you go 5 points ahead. It's such important that at least to 7 points. So
James, how did you see that? I heard you say it there, basically what Brad's saying now, that you're happy with the win, but you felt too many mistakes.
Yeah, we found a way to win, which we're content with. But in terms of sort of our gameplay tonight, we were just I thought we were quite poor at times. We didn't build pressure. We didn't build scoreboard pressure as well, and just almost our core game wasn't quite there. We're just gonna have to go back to the drawing board. It's not big changes that we need. It's just literally guys playing in the moment and not getting ahead. You got to win those tight battles, and like Brad said, credit to the force. They came out and they really played well. It was brutal out there, physical. It was quick. It was a tough game. I'm exhausted. This is the most tired I've been after a game in quite a while.
Was it a matter of intensity? Were you guys switching on and off, or how did you? First 16 minutes, you got 2 tries on the board. It's all happening. It was all seemingly going along as per program, and then I don't know, something went wrong. Obviously, the force came back hard.
So for me, it was just we lost that midfield sort of battle around the 50s, whether it was sort of giving away penalties or was I guess poor execution off a few set piece plays. We just gave the ball back to them, and then they sort of got a roll on. For us, it's been sort of pretty consistent at times. We've been our own worst enemy. We can play, and we can play a really up-tempo game, but it's just about finding that balance. And for me tonight, it was just the little things, honestly, and we just had to stay in that fight and play in that moment. And we started getting ahead of ourselves too early and playing the next phase, the next set piece before we were even, on the scoreboard. I think there was a couple of times as well where we nearly scored, and then they would go the other end of the field, which does deflate you, especially the big boys, when we want to play that field position for them to get some points on the board. But all in all, like, still positive. We got the win. We're at the top of the table where we want to be. But there's work to be done, and we know that we'll come back in on Monday, and Brad and the other coaches will have a good game plan for us, and we'll go from there.
I think in the past few years we would have been just happy with the winning. The thing that's I see as a positive now is there's guys in there that are frustrated with each week for the last 3 weeks. They want to be better. So it's a positive. In the past we would have just been sitting there going, oh, we got to win. That's good. So yeah, it's about putting that frustration into action, and like I said, and how James has said, just discipline in different areas, and being in the moment and basically doing your job. Each player doing their job, the team will function well.
And the positive for me from that is you could feel it in the sheds. There's no hoopla and there's none of that. Guys know we weren't on. They know it wasn't sort of up to scratch, but we found a way to win, so we're content with that. But I think it's just going to make us more hungry to actually execute a full 80 minutes, which we haven't quite done yet. So it's exciting from my perspective anyway, to see what we can actually do, because I know what we can do on the training field. I know what we're capable of. We all do. So it's just about that little extra.
What was the reason for taking Basami off?
We just wanted to. We thought we had a change up. We brought on quite a few guys. Seru came on early at 8. BPA straight after half time, although I do tend to like to be able to do that with those two, because they're both Muff and him are high quality, we got Bryce on there, and there's a fair bit of kicking going on there. He's got a lot of experience, a lot of respect to Bryce. I think he must be closing in on 100 caps. He must be high 90s. So he's such a valuable guy to be able to bring on in that role. And there's a humility about him as well, because it's not always fun being that guy that's on the bench that covers some positions. So real credit to Bryce. He's held in high esteem. He's in our leadership group in this team, and
Yeah, he is. He's a leader in our group, and he's probably got the best kicking game in Australian rugby. So I guess that was probably the play there. We wanted to play that far end. We knew we just needed to keep them in their end, and then that's when we can start executing.
What's your thinking in terms of how far Seru could go?
I think he's an exciting prospect. I'm guessing you feel the same way, and he showed some stuff at lock, but I think he goes from a smaller lock into a bigger back rower, and he can bring something there. So there's a pretty handy back rower there at number 8 already, Harry Wilson. So I guess that's tasty, isn't it? You got Angus Scott Young playing out of his skin, Angus Scott Young's also in our leadership group, and he's had this opportunity because he was mainly a finisher last year, which was tough because he'd been playing a lot of starting footy for a couple of years before that, and he's just worked on his game. He's worked hard around the breakdown. He calls lineouts. He's doing all sorts of stuff. So it's nice and tasty in there, Fraser and Liam Wright when he comes back. Sam Wallace, I don't know if you know Sam. There's probably guys I'm not thinking of right now, but is competitive there, which is good. So yeah, I think Seru can go a long way.
Anyone else? One more?
Right.
Smithy, sorry. Am I right? It's 3 decades or is it longer? 5. 5. Forgive me, someone said 3. Yeah, so 5 before I was born. You were doing this job. Sorry to make you feel old, but just want to take my hat off to you, mate. That's just wonderful what you've achieved, And tonight, I know this week's the last week. I don't know if you've been told, but we want you to come into our sheds and present you with something. But just want to take my, on camera, take my hat off to you. Well done to you, mate. And I'm sure you enjoy a quiet beer or whatever. But huge thing to be involved that long, and it's a credit to you, mate.
Yeah.